Samuel asked Jesse, "Are these all the sons you have?" Jesse replied, "There's still the youngest who is tending the sheep." The Lord said, "Anoint him, for this is he."
David is the paradigmatic king in the Old Testament. He looks back toward Adam the king, and he looks forward to Christ the king. Read the New Testament. What do you find? You find now, crackling with excitement, these texts about a new David who has definitively realized Israelite kingship. The whole New Testament opens up once we see it under the rubric of David. I think 1 and 2 Samuel constitute one of the really great literary works that's come down to us from the ancient world, period.
So much of the good news has to do with how Christ is a new King David, a new king who will lead all of his people. And so if we don't see those images in Christ, then I think we can't really understand the good news and we can't be evangelized.
Bishop Barron is a great communicator. He's telling us our faith in a very clear language that is easy to connect to, yet I am so drawn to the intellectual depth of it.
The reason why Bishop Barron is a really effective speaker is the fact that he's passionate about what he's talking about. He believes it.
He just ignited in me this desire to go more deep in my faith.
It feels as if I'm in personal conversation with him. It's quite an art, it's a skill, and of course he's very accomplished at it.
God's not just someone random out there. He's very much present within our culture. And so he's pulling aspects of our culture, helping us understand how they relate to different aspects of the faith.
I think a study program like this challenges people to get more involved in not only the faith as they live it today, but also to learn more.
Our purpose is to look at David and the figures around him precisely to understand Christ more fully. Well, I created David the King because I had just finished research on a book for the Brazos series of biblical commentaries on 2 Samuel. And 2 Samuel is all about King David. So I had all that material very fresh in my mind, and the book I wrote was more or less academic, but I wanted to present this in a more popular way. And so I did this series. And it's about David, but also about David in relation to Christ. So he's an anticipation of Christ, the new David. And so by studying him, it's a bit like looking at the moon to see the reflected light of the sun. You can see a lot of the truth of Christ reflected in David or anticipated in him. So that's really what the video series is about and why I did it. Well, in one way, it's for any Christian. I think everyone who is a Christian is marked by Jesus Christ. We call him the Christ, right? Which means the anointed one. And for someone in the first century, if you use the word Christos, Christ, they would have thought of David. They would have thought of, oh, the new David has come. And so in a way, to reflect deeply on David is of importance to any Christian. I'd say too, though, particularly people who are interested in the ministry of the church, maybe those who are teachers and catechists and so on, might benefit especially from these presentations. I'd be very happy if people watched it individually. I think any Christian could benefit from that. But I also hope they be used in a group setting. I gave the talk to a kind of a large audience, and I would envision a group of maybe 10 or 12 people watching the video together, and then using our very good study program to work their way through the themes. There's a lot of material in it, there's kind of chock full of insights and ideas and connections. So I could see a group really benefiting from watching it and then working it through and discussing it.